Hello friends, welcome to this session of call routing in GSM. Our today's topic is the last topic in the series of the lectures in which we are studying about the GSM telecommunication standard. In the previous lectures, we have learnt about the GSM architecture. We have seen the security mechanisms provided by the GSM network. We have seen how localization and roaming is facilitated in the GSM network. We have seen how handovers take place, and our today's topic is the last topic, that is how call is routed in the GSM network. When we talk about a call can be made to a mobile phone in the GSM network or from a mobile phone in the GSM network. So, in this respect the call is called the mobile terminating call or a mobile originating call. So, in this session we will learn about the mechanism of these two types of calls. When we talk about a mobile terminating call, it can be from a fixed landline or to a mobile phone, or fixed landline or some other P11 network to the mobile phone, or it can be from a mobile phone to a fixed network or to a mobile phone, which can be in the same P11 network or some other P11 network. So, we will learn about the mechanisms of these two types of calls in this session. We will see that what identifiers of GSM are used and what role do they play, what entities as in the base station, BSC, MSCs come into picture, and what action or what exchange of messages take place to establish and route a call in the GSM network. So, we will start this session with mobile terminating call. So, the types, just have a recap. The types of calls which takes place in the GSM network are mobile terminating call, a call from a fixed landline P11 network to the mobile device in GSM network, or a mobile originating call, a call from mobile phone to a fixed P11 network. Now, let us see what happens during a mobile terminating call. We will see example when a call is made from the PSTN network, that is a fixed landline phone, to the mobile phone which is in a GSM network. So, what is the scenario? The scenario is that a user from a fixed landline is calling to a user which is having a mobile phone belonging to the GSM network. So, what is the first step which takes place? Number is dialed from the fixed landline number. Now, what is this number? This number is the IMSI number, which is known to the outer world. When we studied about the GSM architecture, we studied about these two types of identifiers which are used with respect to a subscriber. ISDN number, which is known to the whole world, that is the number which you give to your friend when you make him or her to make a call to you, that is the ISDN number. But the network identifies you using a different identifier which is known as the IMSI number. So, throughout the network IMSI number flows, but that IMSI number is not known to the outer world, it is only local to the network, and network uses it for the purpose of identifying the subscriber. So, whenever a call will be made to the mobile user, it will be only the ISDN number. Now, since we said that a call has been made from the fixed landline, so PSTN will come into picture. So, the call will go to the PSTN. PSTN, looking at the number of the looking at the ISDN number, will identify that this is the number belonging to the GSM network. So, where is the call till now? From the landline phone, the number has been dialed, it has reached the PSTN network. PSTN network has identified that this number belongs to the GSM network. Now, we studied about one entity when we discussed about the GSM architecture, which is GMSC. GMSC is belonging to the network subsystem, and we said that it is the interface which connects the PSTN or ISDN network to the mobile network. Now, this is necessary because a GSM user may want to make a call from or may want to interact with a PSTN user and vice versa. So, there must be something which acts as the interface between two, and that entity is known as GMSC. So, whenever PSTN finds that now this number belongs to GSM network, so the call should be forwarded to GMSC. But which GMSC? That information is stored in the MSISDN number. So, PSTN looking at the MSISDN number identifies the GMSC. So, you can see that number has been dialed, call goes from the fixed network, that is the PSTN number. PSTN finds that the number belongs to GSM network. So, it forwards it to GMSC, that is the point of attachment between the fixed network and the mobile network, and then the GMSC is identified. So, at this point the GMSC is identified. You can just see this sequence in the animation provided. Now, GMSC should forward this call to the MSC area where the phone is residing. Now, this is a mobile terminating call. We know that GSM provides roaming. So, the mobile phone can be anywhere in the GSM network. So, how to identify that where the mobile phone is residing? So, the information about the MSC or VLR area in which the mobile phone is residing has to be retrieved. Now, who has this information? The HLR, that is the home location register of the MSC area where the mobile phone has subscribed itself, that is the home network of the mobile phone, knows that where the mobile phone currently is. So, as the mobile phone moves from one area to another area in the GSM network, its HLR is continuously updated to record its whereabouts. So, HLR is very well knowing that where the mobile phone currently is residing. So, what information it is having? It is having the information about the current MSC VLR in which the mobile phone is currently residing. But before forwarding the call to that particular MSC VLR, 4 things regarding the mobile subscriber has to be assured. And what is that? What are those 4 things? We will just see shortly, and these 4 things are retrieved from the HLR. So, what needs to be known? Firstly, the mobile phone is not switched off, that is the services can be provided only if, because since it is a mobile terminating call, we need to know that it is switched on. Secondly, it should be known that the mobile phone is in the GSM network. Then it has sufficient accounting balance. It may be that in some type of call, if the mobile phone is in roaming state, then it should have enough balance so that a call can be made to it. So, this information is also stored in the HLR. And the last thing which needs to be known is that the number which has been dialed is a valid number. So, the identifier related to the mobile phone should be valid. So, these 4 information are retrieved from HLR before the steps are taken to route the call to that particular mobile phone. So, how these 4 informations are retrieved from the HLR? Mobile phone is not switched off. You can see in the diagram that some identifier or some information known as IMSI Detach has been provided by the HLR. What is this? This is a field. We know that HLR home location register is a database. So, database means it contains some information related to the mobile subscribers who are subscribed within that area. So, IMSI Attach and IMSI Detach are 2 fields which change periodically as and when the mobile phone is in different state. Detach means, a literal meaning of detach is disconnected. So, IMSI Detach means that the mobile phone is disconnected from the network, but it can be disconnected in two ways, either it is switched off or it is out of coverage area. So, whenever the mobile is switched off, a explicit IMSI detach takes place on the HLR, that is that field is set to 1. And when the mobile phone goes out of coverage area, a implicit IMSI detach takes place in the HLR. So, looking at the IMSI detach, it can be known that the mobile phone is switched off or it is in the network area. So, whenever the mobile phone is switched on again the IMSI attach will takes place to indicate that the mobile phone is connected to the GSM network. So, for example, what happens is that suppose we are in a we are going from one place to another place via plane. So, what happens is that when we sit in the plane, we are supposed to switch off our phone. So, here IMSI detach will explicitly takes place. So, whenever you reach your destination and you switch on your phone again, IMSI attach will take place, indicating that now the mobile phone is attached to the network, right. So, these two information are retrieved from the HLR. Then the accounting information is also available with the HLR to check that whether the sufficient balance is there. And lastly, it is known that the mobile phone is a valid mobile or the number which has been dialed is a valid number. Now, how it is checked is that for that particular mobile phone which has been dialed, an IMSI entry into the HLR is being checked. So, if there exists a valid IMSI entry in the HLR corresponding to that mobile phone, it is considered that the mobile phone is valid or the mobile number is a valid number. So, up to now what we have seen? We have seen that a call has been made from a fixed landline phone. It goes to the PSN network, PSTN network. From PSTN network, it is forwarded to GMSC. Now, GMSC wants to know that where the mobile phone currently is, so that the call can be routed at that particular place. For this purpose, it inquires the HLR, but before it takes the information from the HLR that whether the mobile phone is not switched off, it is in the network, it has sufficient balance and the phone of the mobile subscriber is valid. So, now it needs to be known that where the current MSC where the mobile phone is, that is which is the current MSC in which the mobile phone is residing. HLR knows about this information. So, HLR needs to inform this up to the GMSC. So, how does it do it? What it does is that it asks for a MSRN number from the current VLR of the MSC in which the mobile phone is currently residing. Now, what is the use of this? We have studied when we studied about the GSM identifiers that MSRN, which stands for mobile subscriber roaming number, is a temporary identifier which is associated with the mobile phone when it moves to a foreign network or when it moves to a new MSC VLR. Now, it is just as good as a MS ISDN number, only the thing is that in place of the country name, it would be a visitor country name. In the case of network destination code, it would be the visitor destination code and so on, right. So, it is just a temporary form of MS ISDN number. So, HLR inquires about the MSRN number given to the mobile phone from the VLR. Now, HLR gets that and it forwards it to the GMSC. Now, looking at this MSRN number, the GMSC intelligently finds where the mobile phone currently is. That is, it identifies the MSC VLR of the mobile phone. So, just look at the flow of identifiers which are flowing in the GSM network from one entity to another entity. There is a fixed subscriber, then you have the PSTN exchange, GMSC, HLR and the MSC VLR in which the mobile station currently is, and this is of course the mobile station. So, what we have seen till now, from the fixed subscriber, MSISDN number is dialed, it goes to the PSTN exchange. PSTN exchange forwards this MSISDN number to the GMSC area, or sorry, to the GMSC. GMSC forwards it to HLR. Now, HLR will inquire about this number, but from now onwards, instead of MSISDN, IMSI would be used. So, as we just saw that by using this IMSI, HLR will ask for MSRN number, which has been provided by VLR. This MSRN number goes to HLR and then to GMSC. Looking at MSRN number, the GMSC finds where the mobile phone currently is. And as we said that for security purpose, the IMSI number is not used, instead TMSI number is used. So, a TMSI number is assigned to the mobile phone since it is in the foreign network. So, this is the flow of identifiers from one entity to another entity during the mobile terminating call. But at this point of time, we are just able to know that in which MSC or VLR the mobile phone is currently residing, but MSC VLR is a large area, right. So, in that large area, how to identify where the mobile phone currently is residing. So, we know that GSM architecture is a hierarchical architecture. The MSC is actually one administrative region, but in this MSC there are many location areas. Location areas takes the control of many cells and a group of cells, and these group of cells are controlled by an entity which is known as BSC. Each cell is controlled by base station. So, you can see that from MSC, how to know that in which cell the mobile station currently is. So, a very obvious technique is used for this purpose. Do you have anything in mind? So, to understand this technique, let us have an example. Let I tell you that in a class of 100 students, the teacher wants to know that who is the student whose name is Rama. Okay. So, what should the teacher do? Should she go to every student and ask, is your name Rama? Is your name Rama? Is your name Rama? Obviously not. What it should do? Yes, you are very correct. So, what she will do is that she will call out the name Rama. Okay. So, any student whose name is Rama should respond, but yes, you should not be sleeping at that time. So, student should be attentive. So, I just pointed out two things. First is that the name of the student is broadcasted, okay, and secondly that the student should be attentive. So, the same thing is applied to search the mobile phone in the current MSC area, and this mechanism is known as paging. So, what is paging? Paging is a mechanism to search the mobile phone and alert it that it is getting a call. Now, the thing is that how paging takes place is that the MSC, the BSCs and the base station, what they do is that they broadcast the number of the mobile phone. But here the thing which it should be kept in mind is that we know that for security purpose from now onwards we do not use the IMSI number. So, instead of IMSI number, the TMSI number will be broadcasted. Okay. So, what will be done is that the MSC will broadcast the TMSI number to all the BSCs which are in its area. The BSC will broadcast it to all the base stations which are in its area, and the base station will broadcast it to all the mobile stations which are in its area. And the mobile stations have to be attentive, and if it sees its own TMSI number on the downlink, it should be alerted. Okay. This is known as paging, and this is how the mobile phone is being searched. But the question is that from where to start? Okay. So, if I talk about a BSC area, there are so many cells. So, from where to start the paging? So, there are many mechanisms and strategies for paging. So, two of the important are, first is known as global paging. In this, you start from the center and you go on searching the cells which are around the center to find that where the mobile phone is. But this is very expensive in terms of the signaling overhead, and also the response time is very slow. Another technique use a very predictive method. What does it say? It says that the probability of finding the mobile phone would be maximum where it was last seen. That is, what it does is that the last location area of the mobile phone is always updated in the HLR. So, it uses that information and it starts searching the mobile phone from that particular location, understanding that the mobile phone will be, probably it would be in that particular area only. So, these are the two types of paging. There are also lots of other paging mechanism, and it is in fact a very interesting area of research also, that to how to optimize the paging mechanism so as to reduce the response time and the signaling overhead. Okay. Just look at this small animation by which you can understand that how paging takes place. So, here as I said, there is a MSC, many BSCs under the MSC, many cells or a group of cell under the BSC. So, what is happening here is that the TMSI is broadcasting, and you can just see in the area which has been zoomed that the mobile phone observes its own TMSI on the downlink and then it responds. Okay. So, this is a brief description of how paging takes place. So, after the paging, the mobile phone has been contacted. Okay. Now, the call will be routed to this mobile phone, but again the things are not that simpler. When you make a call or to a mobile phone, within a fraction of second you are able to hear hello, right. But what all things which takes place in between when you make a call and a first ring appears on the other side. We will just see those mechanisms, and that whole things takes place with the help of some exchange of messages. Those exchange of messages are often heard as cracked voices during the call which has been made. We will just look at the exchange of messages which takes place. First, mobile phone has been identified. So, it sends a channel request message to the network because it wants to communicate. Okay. The BTS sends this request to BSC, and if any free channel is available, the BSC allocates the channel and sends the channel activation message to the BTS. When the channel is activated, the BSC sends immediate assignment message. We will just see this sequence of messages in the diagram also, but here just a listing. These are all sequence wise exchange of messages. Now, here the channel which has been allocated can be a traffic channel or a signaling channel, because the traffic channel might or might not be allocated at this particular time. So, there are two reasons for this. As we said that the channel is allocated to the mobile phone by the BSC here, but if the traffic channel is allocated at this point of time and the call is not set up till now, it is just given a channel, and due to some reason the call setup fails. So, for that time being the traffic channel would be blocked, it will not be used by any other mobile phone, and there is already a scarcity of channels. So, what is done is that after the call setup is been made, the traffic channel might be allocated at that particular time, but the signaling channel is allocated here itself. But the advantage of allocating the traffic channel here itself is that it will speed up the communication. So, again there is a trade off. If the channel is allocated here, it will speed up the communication, but at the same time if the call setup is not successful, then the use or the traffic channel would be blocked for that particular time. So, up to now a signaling channel or the traffic channel is allocated to the mobile station. So, the mobile station tunes to the assigned channel and transmits a page response message. The session is initiated. Now, the mobile station wants the services, but the mobile station has requested for the services, but you cannot give the services to any station before verifying some things. So, what are these? Yes, you guessed it right, it is the authentication. Okay. We have also studied about this when we studied GSM securities, that any mobile subscriber which wants to have the services of the GSM network should be an authenticated GSM user. And how it is done, we have seen in the previous lecture, is that the key which is stored on the SIM card of the mobile phone and some algorithm A3 which is also stored on the SIM card of the mobile phone, these two are used for authentication purpose. The network gives a random number as a challenge to the mobile station. The mobile station uses that random number, the key and the algorithm to produce a response. The same response is generated at the network side, and if the two responses match, the mobile station is authenticated. At the same time, we also know that the data or the voice travels between the base station and the mobile station in the encrypted form. For encryption, ciphering should be done. So, the cipher key is generated. Cipher key is generated using again the key which is available on the SIM card and some algorithm which are also stored on the SIM card. Now, the SIM card along with that key with the random number provided by the network, and using those algorithm, it generates the cipher key, and using that cipher key the plain text is converted into the cipher text. Okay. So, this is how the last these four steps comprises of authentication request by the mobile station, authentication response authentication request by the mobile base station, that is from the network side, authentication response from the mobile station, and the ciphering mode. So, at this point of time the call is being ready for setup. Call setup is initiated. Now, as I said that the traffic channel might be allocated previously or at this time. So, if it was not allocated previously, it would be allocated here now. The call setup is done by the call management protocol by mobile station and BTS management protocol by the base station, and the call setup is confirmed by the BTS to the mobile station. So, up to now the call setup has been done. Now, the mobile station answers with an alerting message to indicate that it is ringing. So, a alert message is sent to the base station indicating that the mobile station is ringing. BTS answers with a connect message to indicate that the mobile phone has been picked up. And finally, after the connection acknowledgement, both the parties can exchange voice or data. So, this sequence of mobile terminating call which we just saw, let us revise them using this diagram. Here I have just included two entities, mobile station and base station, and the other BSC, MSC we have already discussed in the steps. So, mobile station and the BTS or the base station, we just saw that the paging request sent to the mobile station, channel request as we just saw to the BTS from the mobile station. If available, the channel is assigned to the mobile station and immediate assignment message is sent. Now, once the mobile station knows that it has got the channel, it sends a paging response message and initiates the session. These four steps comprises of authentication and ciphering, and after that the call is set up, call confirm message from mobile station to BTS, then the assignment of traffic channel by the BTS, and then the mobile station will send the alert message indicating that it is ringing and a connect message indicating that the user has picked up the mobile phone. The connect acknowledgement message by the BTS, and then finally connect acknowledgement indicates that the connection is established and key and data and speech exchange can takes place now. So, this was about the mobile terminating call. Now, let us see the exchange of messages which takes place during the mobile originating call. As we said that if there is a mobile originating call, the call is made from the mobile phone to a mobile phone or to a PSTN network. Now, here also we will see that the call is made to a PSTN network. So, what happens is that first to make a call, it needs a channel, it dials the number, it needs the channel. Now, before providing the services, it is authenticated, and all these steps take place. We will see them one by one. Call can be made to PSTN network or PLMN network. Mobile caller dials the number, network checks whether the subscriber is authorized for the use of services, and after knowing that it is authorized for the use of services, it activates the requested services to the subscriber and then it routes the call. Mobile station asks for a dedicated signaling or traffic channel from the base station. If available, the BSC allocates the signaling channel. Here also we are saying that the traffic channel might be allocated afterwards. Request of call setup is forwarded to current MSC in which the mobile phone is residing. It sends its TMSI and last location area identifier to the VLR. VLR assigns the mobile to be busy. VLR authenticates the caller. It starts ciphering and mobile phone is marked as active in the current VLR. Now, here some important things take place. First, it needs to be known that the mobile phone is a valid equipment. What do we mean by this? We have seen when we learnt about GSM architecture is that there is something which is known as equipment identity register. It maintains three types of list: blacklist, grey list and white list. Now, these three lists contains IMI number of those devices which are valid devices. Blacklist contains the numbers which are blocked or IMI numbers which are blocked, grey list which are temporarily out of order, and the white list which are valid. So, VLR here checks the equipment identity register to understand that whether this mobile phone is valid or not. VLR reallocates TMSI, then mobile phone wants tells that what services it wants from the network, like whether it wants to make a call or whether it wants to send some data, but then anything which is wanted cannot be provided. You should be authorized for it. So, when the user or the subscriber requests for some service, those it is validated that whether this user is authorized to get those services or not. So, first, like suppose you are not allowed to make a outgoing call and you are requesting a outgoing call for which you are barred off. So, that service will not be provided. So, it is checked in VLR that whether you are authorized to get those services or not. And after it is known that the services can be provided to the mobile phone, the MSC allocates the traffic channel. Base station and BTS both tune to those channels and the MSC connects to the called party via GMSC. Now, here when the mobile originating call is there, the alert and the connect messages which we just saw during the mobile terminating call are little bit different. Here the alert message indicates that the ringing tone has been generated on the other side, and when the subscriber answers, the network sends a connect message to the mobile station indicating that the call is accepted. It is just the other way around than the MTC. The mobile station returns a connect acknowledgement which completes the call setup. So, just have a quick look of the sequence or the exchange of messages which takes place during the mobile originating call. So, channel request by the mobile station, if available, signaling channel is assigned, services is requested by the mobile station, authentication, ciphering, and then the call setup is assured. After that, a call confirmed message by the BTS and the assignment of the traffic channel, alerting by the BTS indicating that the subscriber has received the call and it has lifted the call, that is it has replied to the call by pressing the connect button, then the connect acknowledgement by the mobile station, and finally, the connection establishment is complete and data and speech exchange takes place. So, to conclude, in this session we have learnt about how a call routing takes place in the GSM network. We have seen that a call can be a mobile terminating call or a mobile originating call. In a mobile terminating call, the necessary action which needs to be takes place is to identify where the mobile phone is currently residing. So, this is found with the help of HLR and MSRN number which is assigned by the current MSC area on the request of HLR. So, once the MSC area has been identified, by the paging the mobile station is localized. So, this is the extra overhead which is required during the mobile terminating call, and we have also seen that what are the sequence of messages which are exchanged between the different entities of the GSM network to establish and complete a mobile terminating call. Similarly, the same sequence of messages are used for mobile originating call, but the only difference is that here the mobile phone don't needs to be localized. We don't have to search the mobile phone. So, this completes the whole series of our sessions of GSM network. Hope the series was an interesting one. We had 5 sessions of GSM network. In the first 2 sessions, we talked about GSM architecture of the subsystems of in the form of subsystems of GSM network, that is the radio subsystem, network subsystem and the operation subsystem. We learnt about the different entities and the organization in the first 2 sessions. In the third session, we learnt about the security mechanism, that is how authentication takes place, how identity of the user is hidden, how encryption takes place in the GSM network. Then we learnt about how different types of handovers are handled in a GSM network, as in what is intra-cell handover, what is inter-cell handover, inter-BSC, intra-MSC, and the different types of handovers and the mechanism of those handovers. And at today's session, we learnt about the how call routing takes place in the GSM network. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.